Ke teng, Speaker.
Honorable Mukua, Honorable Molapisi,
Ke teng.
Honorable Murweng,
Present, Speaker.
Honorable Musenuchi,
Present, it's
Honorable Mutsumi,
Present, Speaker.
Honorable Khosho,
President Musa Khotla.
Honorable Sambata,
Ke teng, Mosakgotla.
Honorable Sebekwe,
Ke teng, Mosakgotla.
Honorable Sonakile,
Present, Speaker.
Honorable Sonti,
Tikona Samlo.
Honorable Steenkamp,
Present, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Stale,
Teenwoordig, achtbare Speaker.
Honorable Tapi,
Kefano Musa Khotla.
Honorable Tsulo,
Attend, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Van Heystien,
Present, Speaker.
Honorable Wolhorn,
Present, thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Williams,
Kitem Musa Khotla.
Honorable Koza,
Present, Speaker.
Honorable Maine,
Present, Speaker.
Honorable Butswe,
Present, Speaker.
thank you very much, honorable members. I will now, I've satisfied myself that we form a quorum. I will now adopt the bill clause by clause. Clause 1, do the House agree? Yes. Clause 2? Yes. Clause 3? Yes. Clause 4? Yes. Clause 5?
Oh,
Clause 6?
agreed.
Clause 7?
Agreed.
Clause 8?
Agreed.
Clause 9?
Agreed.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The years have it. I will now call on MEC for Finance, Honorable Musenuchi, to give third reading speech if she deem it feasible and necessary for the adoption of the bill. Honorable Musenuchi.
Thank you very much, Motlotlegi Musa Khotla, Motlotlegi Motlatsa Musa Khotla, Motlotlegi Modula Stulo wa badula ditulo, Tona Kgolo ya rona Re Mokgotsi, maloko a khuduthamaga ya komiti ya puso ya bokoni bophirima, le maloko o tla tlotlegang a kokwanotheo molao ya bokoni bophirima. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2004 budget that was tabled in March this year is not just about numbers, but it's geared towards charting a course for a seventh administration and taking the baton from the previous administration in assuring a seamless transition. Government, working with our communities together with the private sector, is committed to build upon a foundation laid and create a stronger, more equitable province for the generations to come. It is widely acknowledged that the 2004 to 2024 appropriation bill was meticulously designed to align with the strategic priorities set forth by the sixth administration. However, we recognize that the seventh administration has recently assumed office, and it is apparent that through this allocation, government will readjust its allocation to respond to the priorities of the seventh administration. Honorable Speaker, the charismatic and revolutionary president of Burkina Faso from 1983 until the time of his assassination in 1987, Thomas Sankara once declared, and I quote unquote, "Our revolution is not a public speaking tournament. Our revolution is not a battle for fine phrases. Our revolution is in the work of its field, factories and offices. Our revolution is in the schools, in the hospitals, in the villages, in heads and in universities and in the factories." This quotation points out that the revolution requires collective effort of all, including civil society, government, and business. Honorable Speaker, in agreeing with the late revolutionary for the next 5 years, the budgets that will be tabled must be developmental in responding to the triple challenges and invest in the development of the much needed socio-economic infrastructure. The provincial budget, through members of the Executive Council, have in the past 2 weeks been tabled. They've tabled their service delivery priorities and commitments before this legislature. It is therefore incumbent upon the legislature and the people of the province to work together to ensure that we as the Executive Council, we deliver on our mandate and our commitment that we have tabled here. The Provincial Treasury, working with the Office of the Premier, will ensure that proper monitoring is adhered to and continue to maintain fiscal discipline. During the recent official opening of the legislature, I quote the Honorable Premier, who proclaimed, quote unquote, "Our vision for Northwest is a place of abundant opportunities, inclusive and vibrant economy, and sustainable growth supported by strong infrastructure to drive our manufacturing and industrialization. Our province has an abundance of talent of our youth population to inspire innovation and entrepreneurship. Government will make resources and tools available to ignite the potential of the people of the province to drive growth and the creation of jobs. Today, through the allocation of the resources to different departments, government reaffirms its commitment to this vision, and we look ahead to the province we know we can be and we must be. As a province, we are not immune to the broader challenges facing our country. The provision of basic services such as water sanitation remains a significant challenge, and our infrastructure needs are substantial. But even in the face of these challenges, we remain resolute and determined. We know that our province has the potential to be a beacon of hope and an opportunity for all its citizens. We are committed to pressing forward with speed and agency to repairing, restoring, and building a better future for ourselves and the generations to come. In accordance with the legislative obligation regarding budget processes, it is encouraged to note the support of the 2024 appropriation bill by this August House. As such, approval seeks to ensure that provincial departments and provincial entities can continue delivering essential services to our people. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, this month is dedicated to Ntata Nelson Mandela. In his powerful words, profoundly quoted, "Difficulties break some men, but make others." As we approach Women Month, a time where brutalities and injustices perpetuated against women are brought to the forefront, we must not allow these challenges to demoralize or deter us. Instead, we must draw strength from Nelson Mandela's legacy and emerge victorious in our fight against gender-based violence. Together, let us honor his memory by committing ourselves to justice, equality, and the promotion of women's rights. This smooth transition is not merely a procedural achievement, but a testament to the strength of our democratic institutions and a dedication of our public servants. It reflects our collective resolve to prioritize continuity and stability in governance, thereby reinforcing the trust and confidence of our people in our leadership. As we move forward, let us continue to build on this foundation of collaboration and mutual respect. Together, we can address the pressing challenges of our time, implement necessary reforms, and advance the aspiration of our people. We must remain vigilant and proactive, ensuring that our governance structures are robust and responsive to the needs of our people. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mosenukhi. Does the House concur that the bill be read for the third time? Secretary, you may read the bill for the third time.
This bill shall be called Northwest Appropriation Act Number 1 of 2024.
Thank you, honorable members. The Northwest Appropriation Bill Act Number 1 of 2024 will be sent to the Premier for assent. Honorable members, before I call the Secretary to read the next order, I would like to read rule number 54 in our rule book. No member may interrupt another member while speaking, except to call attention to a point of order, subject or question of privilege, or at the discretion of the presiding officer. On a point of clarity, to request permission to put a question to the member speaking. Secretary, you may read the next order.
Order number 4, debate on the official opening address of the 7th Legislature.
Honorable members, I will now call Honorable Khosho to lead the debate on the official opening address of the 7th Legislature. Honorable Khosho, you have 12 minutes.
Tla ke go lebogeng Musa Kgotla. Ditumediso se tse di gorogile go tloga mo mesong. Me tla ke tse tšhono e go lemoga modulasetulo wa ntlo ya rona ya dikgosi Kgosi Maotwe. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity to congratulate the Honorable Premier for being elected the Premier of the Northwest. The designation and election underscore the confidence that the ANC repose in the person of Premier Lazarus Kagiso Mukhosi, a visionary and a committed leader with a proper political and administrative prowess and acumen to lead us, equipped with the strategy and tactics of the NDR in pursuit of a struggle for a better life. We rise on behalf of the African National Congress, the People's Movement, firstly to add our voice in commending the Premier in his inaugural address, which has reverberated throughout the province. We have no doubts in our minds that all right-thinking people will agree that the address was an honest, visionary, and principled engagement with all the people of our province. Your words, Comrade Premier, gave the people of Northwest a renewed hope and inspired all of us to seek to play a meaningful role as individuals and collectives in building a Northwest characterized by unity, equality, prosperity, and democratic practices. The Premier's inaugural address was a reaffirmation of the fact that working together we can move South Africa forward, including the Northwest. It also underscores the centrality of the people in their own development as their own liberators led by the ANC. Your address has also laid down the necessary foundation for us to engage on the future prospects of accelerating the pace of service delivery to the people of Northwest as you commit to leaving no one behind in defending democracy and advance freedom. Let's do more together. In the inaugural address, the Honorable Premier identified the creation of jobs and economic transformation as the catalyst for a better life for all. We have the view as the African National Congress that government programs pertaining to economic transformation, Honorable Premier, must be about doing things differently and effectively to ensure tangible delivery of services to our people. It is on this basis that we welcome the pronouncement made by Honorable Premier in the continuation of the work of the SEZ by renovating existing structures and the construction of phase 2 of the project. The rollout of SEZ and the revitalization of industrial parks, amongst other catalytic projects, will help build the competitive capability of the Budirelo Industrial Park and the Bujanala District, as well as creating the necessary job opportunities for our communities. We also welcome the investment commitments to the tune of 164 billion for the SEZ. Our vision for a prosperous society is shown in the appointment by the Honorable Premier of the Economic and Investment Advisory Council to drive our program for development. This is informed by our abiding commitment that the economy of the Northwest must work for its people. We therefore welcome appointment of the Economic and Investment Advisory Council to guide the provincial government in the implementation of the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy. We are looking forward to see the implementation plan, Honorable Premier. The strategy will ensure the economy of the province, which holds so much potential and promise is transformed in a way that benefits the people who work and live in this province. The Honorable Premier, through the Advisory Council, should delve in the resolutions of the investment conference convened by the 6th administration with a view to see which resolution of that conference are implementable so that they can economically benefit our people. We have also noted in the previous address, the prices of palladium and platinum fell by 40%, and we have noted this might affect sustainability of jobs in the mining sector. Initiatives to address socio-economic conditions of mine workers, not only in terms of job losses, but also broader sustainability, especially for the distressed mining townships, should be prioritized, like in the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. You can, for example, Yokanana and the Kuma and Jobatin areas, Stelfontein areas. With the third generation social labor plans being renewed across the province, it is imperative that they are approved on the basis of sustainable development across the province. Every corner of the province, Honorable Premier, should benefit from the minerals mined in this province. Mine workers must also be capacitated with portable skills training that could be utilized outside the mining and to employment opportunities. We applaud the collaborative efforts of the provincial government and its counterpart in Gauteng on the implementation of the smart city development. This development project will have positive spin-offs for the province in areas of housing, infrastructure, transport and logistics, education, leisure, tourism, and healthcare. Interventions to reposition state-owned enterprise for delivery of their development objectives is in line with the ANC manifesto to boost economic growth and drive our industrialization agenda. So it is important, Honorable Premier, that the turnaround and re-engineering of state-owned entities must be the bedrock of the discussion of EXCO at all material times, and there must be targets that you are able to account to in terms of the portfolio committees in going forward, and also in reporting and in the next SOPA, State of the Province Address. Tourism is one of the sectors whose development needs to be harnessed to attract investment and reposition the province with its diverse offerings as a tourist destination. We applaud the good work of the ANC provincial government in harnessing this sector by rejuvenating its, especially the parks and resorts. The establishment of the Northwest Development Fund, which will be rolled out in partnership with private sector role players, will also be a game changer going forward for the Northwest. As we know that we are a rural province, and in terms of the fiscals, we get a minimal in line with the equitable share. The revamping of the George Dick Muntua and Pilansberg airports will boost the province's airlift capacity for tourism and open air freight opportunity and aircraft mechanical repair and trade gateway into SADC. Unity of our people is not possible without equal opportunities, Honorable Premier. It is out of this appreciation that through your visionary leadership, Honorable Premier, you direct that our province should facilitate and open new markets and other opportunities for young people, also women with people, and also with people with disabilities. Socio-economic transformation must not remain a slogan and a mirage, but that it should find expression in our government and private sector program. So the program of government going forward must be more radical and accelerated in ensuring that it restores hope of our people going forward. Transforming the agricultural value chain by including historically disadvantaged people into meaningful production and control of agricultural produce will contribute towards repositioning the province as a bread basket. This will ensure that our farmers, especially small-scale farmers, also have an opportunity to participate meaningfully in the entire value chain of the agricultural produce. We applaud the revival and upscaling of the Mega Farms program in all 4 districts to multiply successes such as the KMF Farm Holdings, which is in Tizobata local municipality, operated by Dr. Obakeng Mfikwe. Mainstreaming and integrating youth development into the work of the state organs and the private sector is critically important. Various interventions to improve opportunities and skills for our young people required for a greater economic impact. In addressing the challenges facing youth, the longest-serving president of the ANC, Comrade Oliver Reginald Tambo, once said, I quote, "A nation that does not care of its youth has no future and does not deserve one," close quote. We know the youth of our country are the most precious resource. Without their energy, creativity, and youthfulness, there can be no future. It is on this score that we welcome the provincial government in coming up with critical intervention in collaboration with the National Skills Fund to finance programs geared towards youth development. The steady progress being made in terms of addressing the issue of job creation in the province should pick up for a full steam implementation. We welcome the 60,000 job opportunities earmarked for creation through the implementation of mega and smart city programs, including 1,206 development opportunities for young people and 15,000 work opportunities through the EPWP.
2 minutes.
All
Chief
these
Whip.
programs geared towards youth empowerment are in tandem with the 2024 elections manifesto of the JOS plan of the African National Congress. Madam Speaker, we could not agree more with Honorable Priya when he said in his address, I quote him, "This is the time to build, not to destroy." Close quote. We cannot afford to adopt a confrontational approach, no matter what our political or social standing is. If we do not listen to and understand each other, we will obviously not be in position to nurture our democracy and live in a peaceful and harmonious environment. As we mark 30 years of democracy and freedom, the Honorable Premier's address has emphatically resonated with our people's aspiration to defend our freedom and advance a better life for all. Let's all join hands and unite in action to defend our freedom and advance a better life for all, leaving no behind. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Chief Whip. I will now call Honorable Butswe. You have 10 minutes. You have 10
Nya Premier
minutes.
tla ke tse tshonwe go leboga baagi ba bokone bophirima dikgosi tsa rona ke le tlhompile Madam Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Premier ke tele dipele le koko la EFF mo bokone bophirima. Honorable Speaker, firstly I would like to take this I would like to tell the Premier that it's nice to finally hear his voice. He has been quiet as a mouse since being sworn in with his partner in crime, former acting Premier Nonomalo in 2022, and ran an entire department for over a year without ever saying a word. As the EFF, we are tempted to comment on the ANC choice of Premier, given his record at the Department of Public Works in 2016 and in Dr. Rutsukhumutso Mompati District Municipality. However, we'll leave that for another day. Today, our focus is the Premier maiden speech, which was opening of Legislature address for the 7th administration last week. From the onset of the speech, the Premier sought to speak a message of a new hope and rejuvenation, as he called it. We share in his optimism until he announced that his very first task in the office was to appoint advisory council, similar to his predecessor. From that moment onwards, all hope were lost. Honorable Speaker, before the Premier continue with all his new advisory council, as the EFF, we request that the report on the work done by the previous council appointed in the 6th administration be submitted to this House by the end of September. The Premier acknowledged the place of unemployment in the province, and unlike Nana Maloi, who attributed it to the population growth, he blamed it on the drop of the economy in the province, together with the natural disasters like the veld fire and the floods.
On a point of order,
Butswe,
Speaker.
there is an order. Honorable LGB.
Honorable Speaker, ke na le mathata a gore Honorable Butswe sitting nngwe le nngwe tshwantse re mo rutele go pronounce maina a batho. The former acting Premier of the Northwest is not Nana Maloi. It was Bushi, re mo rutile ka Honorable Bushi. Gape yaanong ke Honorable Nono bathong. Man.
Thank you.
If a ba ya sekolong le re thuseng re kgone go le thusa Speaker gore ba kgone go pronounce sentle.
Thank you
Because ba
very
re
much,
tsenya matlho.
Honorable Speaker. May I go
Honorable Butswe,
Thank-
can you pronounce the name of Ntate Nono correctly?
I'm not from South Africa, so that's why I can't pronounce the name of
Honorable Nono, Honorable
Nana or Nono or whoever. At this point, we would like to remind the Premier that Honorable Molapisi reduced the budget for natural disaster. Although we may agree that the Premier reasons for unemployment are partly true, we would like We would also like to remind him that corruption, frauds, and looting are also a huge reasons for unemployment in our province. Also, the Department of his executive, like the Department of Health behind the crossing shopping complex, employ ka go batla dikobo pele. There are all issues he must look into before the year end. As the EFF, we also seek to caution the Premier from abusing the EPWP program, as his predecessors did, and claim that they have created mass employment. We have kept quiet, but we will no longer be doing so, as our people are blindly being exploited now. Honorable Speaker, the Premier presented that the mega city project will be rolled out throughout the whole province, yet it has not started since the 11th of April 2024 as advertised. Further, the project was also to be launched under the Northwest Housing Corporation, but the Premier has seemingly adopted this project. So far, clarity, who does the project belong to? We need to know who to hold accountable for it. Honorable Speaker, ga ke batle go tshega. But how can the Premier blindly say that he is going to ask National to increase the amount of money allocated to the Northwest Province each financial year? He wants the formula to be changed to consider development, not the population. Ari dire tiro, batho ba nne teng, Honorable Premier, re kgone go nna le madi a mangata. Honorable Premier, population ya Bokone Bophirima is 3.8 million. Household ya rona ya Bokone Bophirima ke 1.4 million. Density ya rona is 3.4. And then our urban population is 1,703,463. Our rural population is 2,149,513. Now, madi arena leone mo Bokone Bophirima, or budget ya rona elekana le budget ya go eThekwini. In a basis of eThekwini, the number of population erena le mo Northwest e go tlase thata, and madi a tswa go ya ka the number of population eo re nang le yone. Now ne ke re a tiro e dirweng mo premier gore madi a kgone go nna teng. Honorable Speaker. Yeah, National Treasury become because of under expenditure. How about him and his executive learn to be fruitless with the billions they are already receiving, learn to generate revenue with the resource we have already have, and then review this though before embarrassing us. Now, Honorable Speaker, 58%. You know, even if you can give ANC 100% and say run this country 100%, it go netefatsa gore this province go feletsa go sena sepe. Now, e re ke tlhalose sepe, ke batla go tlhalosa issue ya 58%, Honorable Speaker. 58%. Honorable Danji a buang ka yone. That 58% represent poor service delivery. That 58% represent poor health system. That 58% represent dry taps.
There is an order. Honorable Moseneke.
Thank you very much, Chair. We have closed the debate of social development. We are on the opening of the
Thank you very
legislature.
much, Honorable Speaker. The 58%, Honorable Danji.
Stick to script.
Thank you, Honorable Moseneke.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Honorable Bukhatsu.
Speaker. The 58% that Honorable Danji is talking about represent the dry taps. The 58% that Honorable Danji is talking about represent the dilapidated road and infrastructure in the Northwest Province. The 58% represent maladministration. The 58% represent corruption. Arrest. Kibao. The 58% represent 50% of unemployment. The 58% represents sewer spillage all over the province. The 58% represent Buthoki Liluhuma. The 58% represent 30% ya pass mark. Honorable Sibiho. Ukare udochile. Imagine gore 30% e dira mo baneng ba rona, ha 50% ya e palwa go gore fa service delivery. Bao baneng ba passing mark ya bone le 50%. They can know ba re fa service delivery. Imagine ka 30%.
Honorable Butwe, Honorable LGB, Honorable LGB,
Ke a
you
go le
cannot
abusa leina le
disrupt a
gore
speaker on
ke
the
tla le
platform.
abusa,
These are
ke
your
le
rules.
abuse goed.
Honorable Butwe, take your seat. Honorable Butwe, there is an order. Honorable Dial.
Chairperson, Musa Khotla Nekere, Speaker Nekere.
Bugatu.
In the meantime, practice
Honorable
Mainaba.
Dial.
Ke a go le abusa.
In the my pay, cut 30%. Then look for 2 weeks. No.
Honorable members.
Since ke tlo go le abusa goed.
Honorable members, order. Order. Bugatu. I've read you section 54 of your rule book. Of your rule books.
Honorable Dial, ke go emetse.
Honorable Butwe, I've requested that there is an order from Honorable Dial. You can take a seat, Honorable Dial.
Speaker, the order ke ikolang na ke ikola ko Honorable Butwe. Yo leng gore ha comrade Honorable antal mo platformong o busy wa mo interrupter from time to time and o kupile gore ba tlogele go disrupt the speaker tse mo platform.
Thank you, Honorable Dial. Honorable Butwe, as you wrap up.
He bana. Kante ya no go tweng.
As you wrap up.
Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, it gives us a great joy to hear the Premier use the idea of the EFF as a solution to the challenges faced in the province. We argue that his words of industrialization, the province not becoming a seed failing on the dead soil. We further argue the Premier as the leader of the executive to remember his words that as a government, our people expect them to be ethically and incorruptible. Should we discover that he and the executive are shortchanging the people of the Northwest again, as the EFF, we guarantee that we will not let
Your time
it
is
go
up.
unattended. Ke a leboga.
Thank you, Honorable Butwe. Honorable members, I don't have a problem with you. Honorable members, make sure that as and when you speak, you don't drown a speaker. And I've read you your rules. Your rules. Honorable Sonakile, you have 8 minutes. You have 8 minutes.
No, thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, Mosotho o kile a re monokotshwai ha o butswe ka ho ya ka ditakatso tsa tshwene, empa ho ya ka tshebetso e tlabe e kentswe ho netefatsa seo. I want to say that it will be a sign of bad faith if we are to be confrontational on the first address of the Premier. But we will still address our reservations and issues and make proposals where we deem fit. Premier Mokhosi, you presented a bag of ambitious and as well as some unrealistic promises during the OOA speech on Thursday. It was ambitious because if your pronouncement, which had all the ingredients of an economic plan, materializes, Northwest will be a better place. It is unrealistic because some of the things were very impractical, especially where you did not give much of the time frames so that we can ensure proper oversight. Premier, ncha e tsokela ya e fang mohatla. The 58% that the 58% ANC election result from 63.7 that some MECs still arrogantly boast about must serve as a stark reminder that Northwest residents no longer want slogans but action. On some of the big projects that you mentioned, I'm going to speak to a few, starting with phase 2 of Nelson Mandela Drive. The process towards appointing contractors for such publicized projects, in fact for all projects, must be monitored stringently to avoid what happened during phase 1. During phase 1, work was halted from time to time, extensions had to be granted, and the initial contract ballooned from 47 million to 79 million. This cannot be allowed to happen again. On the Northwest Housing Corporation being the driver of Smart Cities program, this is a big ask. In the current format, Northwest Housing Corporation is a wrecking ball. The entity must first get its house in order. The entity's mandate must be clearly outlined and it must be structured to be fit for purpose. Its founding legislation of 1982, as amended in 92 and 1994, must be further amended and it must also appoint its board. It must deal with a baggage of governance issues. And at this juncture, as the DA, we can't in good conscience trust that it will deliver such a strategic and massive economic responsibility. Your mention of support for municipalities that remain a challenge. While we note the turnaround team of experts in the fields of engineering, finance, town planning, and IT that you say that will help change the face of local government, the DA believes that this sounds more like a deja vu. The province has been enlisting the services of experts in municipalities, and these experts, when one looked at them, it has been former MMs from other municipalities who in their previous positions had failed. What is going to be different about these experts? We'd like to humbly request that you publicize the names of these experts, and then you seek public comment on those individuals before appointing them. Another worrying factor, which is a problem that you will need to deal with politically, is getting the cooperation from those local municipalities in ensuring that this plan survives. The less said about Tunta Lerole, the better. For us, we are not convinced that this program will yield results. The DA hereby urges you to enter into performance agreements with your EXCO in order to hold them accountable. And unlike in the past, we hope you will not hesitate to act against those who will be non-performing. Premier, it will not assist to simply reject your vision. However, some of the proposal will want to make some points on them. While we welcome the establishment of the Northwest Development Fund, which we believe, based on what you presented, will assist, you are saying that it is intended to be rolled out in partnership with private sector role players. This is a brilliant move. However, the word fund in South Africa is associated with looting. We have seen with COVID funds, we have seen with disaster funds, etc., where millions were stolen and used for things that they were not intended for. So we would want you and challenge you that ensure that you publicize the details of the fund. Can you publicize the usage of each and every cent that will be in that fund and subject that fund to real-time auditing to avoid what has happened in the past? We welcome the skills audit project. We look forward to the findings and your response to the findings. We should prove that is the audit report, is that skills audit not just another fruitless and wasteful expenditure? The big question is, will you also table the implementation plan? And will we see you following this report and dealing with those who are unqualified as well as the mismatch in terms of skills? The DA also acknowledges the promise to act against all top management who have failed to disclose their financial interests. This must also be followed by an implementation plan and must not be just talk to buy to the gallery. Premier, we urge you to revisit a 2022 SOPA pronouncement, which seemed to have fell through the cracks, that called for the creation of a provincial forensic investigations unit. We welcomed this move when it was pronounced 2 years back, and ever since the pronouncement, there's been back and forth between Treasury and the Office of the Premier in making this become real.
You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker. Premier, it was also, we believe that as the DA, that it was a missed opportunity that you didn't order lifestyle audits on your cabinet and all MPLs in order to instill public confidence in your government. All in all, it was a balanced economic revival speech. We look forward to its implementation. Now more than ever, the building of capable and ethical state is imperative. With the right political will, the province can be renewed. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sonakile. Honorable Tlapi, you have your 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes, Honorable Member.
Ke a leboga, Madam Speaker, Honorable Speaker, Mme Desbo Mohono, Chief Whip Mme Motlalepule Kgosho, Deputy Speaker Re Tshepo Khoza, the Chairperson of the Chairpersons, Mme Tebogo Modise, Honorable Premier Re Lazarus Kagiso Mokhosi, members of Executive Council, honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, baagi ba Bokone Bophirima, magosi a rona ke le naya tlotla. Mmusa kgotla yo o tlotlegang ke ka tlhompho ebile ke tshiamelo. Go tlotla ga go bulwa ga kgotlatheomolao ka ngwaga yo ebile le puo ya ntlha ya Tonakgolo Rre Kagiso Mokgosi. Mmusa kgotla kganetsano e tla ka nako ya ditiragalo tse di botlhokwa tseo di tlhalosang history ya rona ya naga. Mo ngwageng o mmusa kgotla maAforika Borwa a tshwaya dingwaga di le 30 ga e sale ditlhopho tsa history ka 27 a Moranang ka 1994. Letsatsi le jaanong le le itsegeng jaaka letsatsi la kgololosego. Letsatsi le mmusa kgotla le re le gopola ka ngwaga le ngwaga go tlotla bagaka ba ba sa itsiweng ebile le ba ba itsiweng ba ba lwetseng kgololosego ya rona e re kgonang go bua jaaka re batla mo tsatsing la kajeko mmusa kgotla mo pele ga ntlo ya gago ke ka lebaka la balo la kgololosego ya African National Congress. Re a leboga bagaka ba rona. Re ne ra keteka gape segopotso sa masome a le borobedi sa go tlhongwa ga molaotheo wa Aforika Borwa jaaka molao o mogolo wa naga. Mmusa kgotla go ketekwa ga ditiragalo tse ke go bontsha ebile go netefatsa ga puso ya demokrasi e diragala sentle ebile baagi ba na le seabe mo go yona ke ka lebaka la African National Congress. Re a leboga ANC. Honorable Speaker, it is said that time and space are significant history as they define the actuality of any period. It tells us about the challenges and the opportunities of any period and the possibilities permitted by such period. When we celebrate the 30 years of democracy and freedom, we celebrate the life of many ordinary, living and resting South Africans, unsung heroes, many of those living today continue to play a meaningful role in the reconstruction and the development of our country. Madam Speaker, there is continuity, certainty and the direction. For today we live on more than hope as we realize dreams of better South Africa as espoused by our forebearers. In presenting his inaugural speech, Honorable Premier Ntate Mokgosi was comprehensive, wide-ranging, and frank and straightforward. The address provided an honest appraisal of the performance of the six ANC, the performance of the six ANC administration in our province, highlighting its successes and achievements and acknowledging its weaknesses. Madam Speaker, the Premier signposted the direction that the ANC government will take over for the next 5 years until Jeso Atla Honorable Botse. Onne ka ga yona. Ke ra gore ke go clarify gore 58% Honorable Dangen a bua ka yone re sentse re le mo go yona re tlo go yoketsa. There is also clarity of purpose and clear program of action. Le mutlwile mo premier ga nna bua ka yona. ANC ya re ga re ka dira mmogo re tla kgona go neela baagi ba rona ditirelo tseo ba tshwanetseng go gore ba di fitlhelele. Today, Madam Speaker, 30 years later, we are proud as the African National Congress of the milestone we have achieved, which have transfigured the face of our province over the last 3 decades due to the interventions of the ANC government. These interventions we are referring to 6 harness the full potential of our people by improving their education and skills. Madam Speaker, it is on this score that we welcome the pronouncement that the provincial government will collaborate with the Northwest University, the Department of Higher Education and Minerals and Petroleum Resources to establish an engineering faculty in Rustenburg. This is a groundbreaking initiative that requires development of feeder schools across the province, especially schools that teach science, technology, engineering, and maths. to be at the forefront of this important development. We also welcome the resuscitation of the Victor Sefora Provincial Bursary to fund over 100 students for the academic year 2025. Re a leboga, Honorable Premier. Re a bona gore go na le ko re yang ko teng as the African National Congress government. We implore the Office of the Premier to consider extending the bursary to learners who are doing science, technology, and engineering and maths subject, especially at the no-fee schools. We are of the view as the African National Congress that this will change the educational landscape of our province and increase a skilled workforce for the rising career opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and maths. Education is one of our many good stories to tell and remains our priority in the province. Our continued investment lays the foundation for young people to meet their future aspiration and take the Northwest to its full potential. Madam Speaker, it is on this score that we welcome the provincial government through the Department of Education, MEC Mutsumi, towards positioning the Northwest as a consistent top 3 best performing province in the country, and we will indeed give the department support. This speaks to our policy as the African National Congress of improving quality education and our commitment to educational excellence. Madam Speaker, we also know the expansion of early childhood development education, the increase the reach of the universal grade R, inclusion in all public schools, and improve the quality and qualifications of the ECD practitioners. We are in agreement with the Premier for closing the resource gap in all our schools to give each child equal opportunity to reach their full potential. Our home ground solution to increase access to higher education is through awarding bursaries to the top 3 learners in all no-fee paying school.
You have
As
2
we
minutes
celebrate,
left.
Madam Speaker.
You have 2 minutes left.
Thank you.
Honorable.
As we celebrate the life and the legacy of the great statesman during Mandela Month, we are reminded of his inspiring words when he said, and I quote, "Education is the great engine of a personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a person can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that the child of a farm worker can become the president of the country. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another," close quotes. This inspiring words, Madam Speaker, of Tata Mandela spur us to service the underprivileged communities loyally in honor of his legacy. It is on this basis that we welcome the plans of the provincial government to finish all the projects that have been delayed for quite some time. We also note the construction of over 10 schools across the 4 districts in our province. Madam Speaker, it is also noteworthy that we are making notable progress in breaking the back of the Zamazamas through the program Valamgoti by closing shafts and disturbing our economy in our province. We also deplore the killing of 8 people in Kanana and Erare, Batshwariwe, Honorable Morweng. In ridding our communities of the social ills of violent crimes, we are encouraged by commitment of the Premier to work with the faith-based organization through the social cohesion and moral regeneration programs. We are also welcome the good work of the ANC government in taking to the stakeholders in aiding crimes that affect businesses in our areas, such as break-in. Madam Speaker, as I close, Madam Speaker. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, as we chart our path of unity, progress and development, we are mindful of the work that the African National Congress has done to liberate its people by delivering quality basic services to the people in building infrastructure such as schools, houses and roads. Good governance and ethical leadership must translate into implementation of the Batopele as well as accelerated service delivery, leaving no one behind. Madam Speaker,
Thank you very much, Honorable Sapi. Honorable Kunabal. You have 3 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, when I listened to the Premier's speech on the State of the Province address, I hope to hear how he is going to address some challenges in the province. I hope to hear that he have a plan for the province and not all ANC rhetoric, but alas, it was more or less the same as his predecessor. Thomas Jefferson said, "The care of a human life and happiness, and not their destruction, is the first and only object of good governance." Honourable Premier, this must be your only goal, the happiness and care of our communities in the Northwest. Therefore, Honourable Speaker, I listened closely to what the Premier said, and as a compact between the provincial government and the communities, we must hold him to what he said and measure the outcomes to his statements. But, Honourable Speaker, there are some things that I haven't heard. How is the health sector that was under cyber attack recently restore its governance and not do admin manually? How is the Premier addressing the backlog of municipal services where a municipality like the Matlusana municipality that don't have vehicles to its service delivery departments buy a vehicle for a chief whip, a council already getting a car allowance and have no to little duty outside of council? The kicker is, though, that he is under disciplinary action for misusing of municipal assets. And you won't believe the misuse of petrol accounts. Honourable Premier, although it is in a provincial mandate, I haven't heard that your plan is to get involved in stopping crime in the province. In the last 2 weeks, 15 people in Matlusana were gunned down, and it most probably gang-related. Gangs, Honourable Premier, is laying waste to the province. What steps are you going to take to assist, help and eradicate gangs that bring violence and drugs to this province? What steps will you take to see that the job creation you promise don't stay a once-off handout, but a contribution to better services that create an environment for better economic activities? What steps are planned to stop economic decline in smaller towns? For government so truly seek care, wellness and happiness to our communities, these are but some of the issues that must be addressed as priority. The Freedom Front Plus is willing to help to rebuild and repair this beautiful province if you will let us. Let me ask you if you are willing to have a sit-down so that we can have a discussion about local government ombudsman, artificial intelligence real-time audit technology for procurement processes, record keeping and better finance management throughout municipality, clinics and other departments like education. Let me close. Let us have a robust debate about strategic and master plans and get professional insight. This all is in your hands and that of the executive. The term of the office will be the last to try and save this province from total collapse, and the responsibility lies in your hands to restore the dignity of the executive office by acting on what is said. Take charge and take action. For start doing today is far better a promise to start tomorrow. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Groenewald. Honourable Tsula, 3 minutes. Your 3 minutes start now.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. A government premised on the values and principles of capitalism has never been a friend of the poor and the working class. The opening address by the Honourable Premier of Northwest was a tale told by lumpens full of sound and fury, signifying nothing at all. There is no hope in the official opening that was done. It is a common cause, Honourable Speaker, that the Premier is a political handlanger of the chairperson of the ANC Northwest and therefore is not independent and autonomous. And people of Northwest cannot expect nothing out of that particular address and behind the persona behind it. SMK, we will continue to agitate for the plight of traditional leaders and hegemony of African traditional authorities. We will continue to agitate for the return of the land and control of African people over the commanding heights of the economy. We will watch over the GNU, the GPU very much and appendage rule to that particular effect. We will scrutinize every actions of the Northwest regime and we will tear every fiber of corruption apart like a pit bull tearing a bone. We will fight against any use of state resources to dispense ANC factional patronage, and we will ensure that no premier will enjoy these particular blue lights after having night times of the factional meetings of the African National Congress. We don't support the opening address. It does not matter. If we don't support the opening address of the 7th legislature, that said nothing about addressing the national question and historical provenance of the African people. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, MK does not support the opening address. We are no party or friend to a neoliberal, neo-imperialist GNU nor GPU in this regard.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Mangope, you have 3 minutes. Your 3 minutes start now.
Motsamaisi Musa Khotla tona kgolo ke a leboga badira le nna ke kopa fela gore ke re re mo primary Maloba ne ke gore editse ka tlhoafalo tota o fa puo e matlhagatlhaga ka botswerere mme fela ke rata gore ke re ke mo bothateng mo primary ba gore ke leka gore ke ska ka go penta ka brush bo re ntse re bo bona dingwaga di le 30 a fetileng yaanong Setswana sa re maatla metlo a modisa ke go gorosa Maloba no ke go gorosa mme tota ga go thuse sepe modisa bolotsa a sa gorose mantsi boa di feletse yaanong Maloba o no bolotsa lenaneo la gago la dingwaga tse 5 tse di tlang e le rona re-election e ra go ema nokeng mo go lone mme fela nne ke re ke ra ke re kile ka nna le the privilege ya go berekela South African National Defence Force ke be ke postiwa ko India ya re kile ko India ke be ke ralediwa ko Egypt ke sesole sa ko Egypt yaanong ba tla ba mpotsa gore leina la me ke mang ka tla ka ba bolelela gore ke Kwena yaanong ba tla ba ntha ba re a buitse nonyane e bidiwang gote Egyptian plover bird ka re ga ke itse yaanong tota se ke ratang go se bua ka nonyane e ke gore ke nonyane e dirang very very important function for the crocodile ga ke re rona ga re sena go ja batho re dirisa di-toothpick yaanong nonyane e yone tiro ya yone ke gore ga Kwena e sena go ja se se jang e tle go ema mo leganong le la Kwena e le ntshe dilo tse di mo go lone itse tota ka reng premier ka re le ga re le ka letlhakore le ga ke le ka go letlhakoreng le la ntlo ke a go ema nokeng ka gore there's a very very important function that we should jointly do together mme ke kopa tota gape tota se tota ke kopang gore o se lebelle se o se buileng gone ka la bone ke di masepala tona kgolo municipalities a di masepala tsa rona puso e di be as a priority ka gore ke di masepala fela mo primary tse ka tsone re kgonang go fa batho ditirelo bogolo jang ko metseng ya rona ya Setswana ntse ke fetse ka gore ke re nkile ka kwalla majoro ko Ramotshiri Moilwa ko gaetsho kwa ke sa bole go kopa thuso e se yaka ke le nosi le thuso ya morata go ganega lebaka lo le mo primary ka be ka tla ka mokwalla ka mora ke re ke a le tlhoboga ke a le tlhoboga ka gore selonyana se ne ke bona e kete se ka direga se padile yaanong ke ne ke re ke re ana ke re ke a go nna plover bird mo go wena mo primary ke a leboga.
Thank you, Honorable Mangope. Honorable Molapisi. Your 12 minutes start now. Your 12 minutes start now.
Yeah, I start Akibu. No, thanks very much, Honorable Speaker, I normally say that other people have got nothing to offer. And sometimes it's not important and necessary for us to waste our time and respond to something that they've said. Exactly what I'm saying. I must say, Honorable Speaker, that the ANC National Conference resolved to support the refinement of the human settlement policies. And it's important for honorable members to take note of that. And Honorable Speaker, as the ANC, we are adamant that the opening address by the Honorable Premier bears solution to many of the challenges that we are facing as the people of the Northwest. We are confident that the Premier has provided a blueprint encompassing a response to some of the issues and many issues relating to issues of job creation, economic empowerment, in terms of the development of the agriculture, education and sports, arts and culture development. These are some of the issues that the Premier spoke to. And we must, I think all of us agree that we need to welcome that. We need to welcome this initiative, Speaker, because we all know, and as it has been said, that Northwest is a very rich province, but its people are poor and impoverished. We need to tap into some of the opportunities that are there. And those opportunities, Honorable Speaker, it's what the Premier has referred to in terms of the focus on economic infrastructure. And we must emphasize, like honorable members have said, that it is important, the appointment of the Economic and Investment Advisory Council, it must be welcome because these people are focusing on agriculture, labor, mining, and tourism. So that is an idea that needs to be welcomed. It is important to note that the implementation and the drive for the mega city projects by the Northwest Housing Corp is something that we must welcome and appreciate. The committee will guide the government on finalization of the provincial growth and development strategy. It would ensure that the development of the sector-based plans to promote inclusive growth, reduce the unemployment, address the inequalities in line with our national development plan. It's a very good initiative that must be welcomed by all of us. We agree with you, Honorable Premier, that there is a need for us to review the fiscal allocation. And we agree with you that we need to make a call and use the Intergovernmental Relation Forum to advocate for a review to address the developmental needs of our province. We want to agree with you. We must welcome the idea as announced by yourself to collaborate with the university and other departments to establish an engineering faculty. We must agree that the NWDC must be repositioned and must drive our economic and industrialization program, looking into issues of SEZ development. And we must welcome the investment commitment made of 164 billion. These are good initiatives that we must debate and talk about how do they benefit our province. We also welcome the idea of the Northwest Development Fund, as it has already been said, to look into issues of tourism, agro-processing, mineral beneficiation, and innovation of hubs. Agriculture initiative, it's something that we must also welcome in terms of finalization the agriculture master plan, which should support the small black farmers. Honorable Speaker, we must also welcome the news that over 10 schools at the tune of an amount of 538 million will be used for construction, and that will create about 2,340 job opportunities. We must appreciate the initiative to introduce the technology and digitization in order to enhance the grant management. there is a need to build capacity to address unregistered and illegal operators. Honorable Speaker, the drive to increase health centers and clinics, working with universities to expand the health professional is something that must be welcome. And we must also applaud the police for having effected the arrest when they move swiftly in arresting people who murdered our peoples. We can report in this platform that 6 of those people have been arrested. Honorable Speaker, honestly, there is no need. You have Honorable Botso coming here and saying that the appointment of the advisory council is something that they are not supporting. We don't need your support, of course. You speak about corruption. If you have any information, don't come here and grandstand and make noise. Go to the police station so that the police can act on the case that we would have opened. If you come here, it's not going to help you. So we want to advise, maybe you didn't know how things are done. So we want to advise you that go and open the case so that you can ask the police in terms of the progress. You see, you are saying we are boosting about the 58.1% we received as the ANC. Of course, we do boost about it. As we speak, we have more seats, additional seats in the legislature. It says to us that people of the province have got confidence in us. And I can tell you, we continue to win, and that is a demonstration that our people have confidence in us on all by-elections that we are holding in the province. You've got no significance, you don't exist, you try your best, so you must accept that. You've got nothing to offer. You've got nothing to offer. You just come here and make a lot of noise. We must welcome what is being proposed by members who came here. I can confirm to you, Honorable Sonakile, that the skills audit report will be presented, will be released, and the findings and the recommendations will be implemented. And I can confirm to you, Honorable Sonakile, that to us and to our people, Tunzale Role program has got meaning to them. They appreciate it because they see us on the ground. We are making difference with our people. So really it's not up to you whether you say it has got no meaning, but I can confirm that our people appreciate that. So we must be judged by what we are presenting here, what we are committing to do. Otherwise, coming here and listening to people who say nothing, just come and say nothing has been said. You would not hear because you yourself, you are not saying anything when you come here. You are just making a lot of noise. So would not hear you, Honorable Solo or Tema or will not hear you because you are not saying anything. You talk about corruption, go to Nkandla. Go to Nkandla. That is the capital city of corruption. So you must go there. Honorable Mangope, we welcome your support, of course. And what we are presenting is that this is what we are offering and committing ourselves to do for our people and for our community. This is what we say. We must be held accountable. Unlike the anarchists, the noisemakers, the misguided, uninformed who want to provide theories, they just want to deter us. They just want to deter us. So what we are saying to you, we will engage you when you present substantiate issues. We'll engage with you. But if you come and make a lot of noise here and think that will engage you and entertain you, that will not do. Thank you, Venerable. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mulapisi. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, This brings us to the end of today's business. The sitting stands adjourned.